Welcome to this tutorial on loops and iteration. Loops are one of the most fundamental concepts in programming. They allow you to execute a block of code multiple times without having to write the same code over and over again. In this video, we will explore different types of loops, how they work, and why they are essential for writing efficient code. Imagine you need to print the numbers 1 through 100. Without loops, you would have to write 100 print statements manually. That would be tedious and error-prone. With loops, you write the code once and tell the computer to repeat it 100 times. Loops eliminate repetition, make your code cleaner, and are much easier to maintain and update. There are 3 main types of loops used in programming. The first is the for loop, which executes code a specific number of times using a counter. The second is the while loop, which executes code as long as a condition remains true. The third is the do-while loop, which executes code at least once and then repeats while the condition is true. Each loop type is useful in different situations. The for loop has 3 main components inside the parentheses. First, the initialization sets up a counter variable, usually starting at 0. Second, the condition checks if the counter meets a certain requirement before each iteration. Third, the increment increases the counter after each iteration. In this example, the variable I starts at 0. The loop continues while I is less than 5, and I increases by 1 each time. The code inside the loop executes 5 times. The while loop is simpler than the for loop. It only has a condition inside the parentheses. The code inside the loop keeps executing as long as the condition is true. You must manually initialize and increment your counter variable before and inside the loop. In this example, count starts at 0. The loop continues while count is less than 5. Inside the loop, we print the count and then increase it by 1. Once count reaches 5, the condition becomes false and the loop stops. The do-while loop is unique because it guarantees the code inside will execute at least once. First, the code inside the loop runs. Then, after the loop finishes, the condition is checked. If the condition is true, the loop repeats. If it is false, the loop stops. In this example, num starts at 0. The code prints the number and increases it by 1. After the first execution, the condition is checked. Since num is less than 5, the loop repeats. This continues until num reaches 5. 2 important statements help you control how loops behave. The break statement immediately exits the loop, skipping any remaining iterations. You use break when you find what you are looking for and do not need to continue looping. The continue statement skips the current iteration and jumps to the next one. The loop condition is still checked, so the loop may continue if the condition is still true. Use continue when you want to skip processing for specific cases but keep the loop running. Remember these important points about loops. First, loops eliminate code repetition and make your programs easier to maintain and update. Second, choose the right loop type for your situation. Use for loops when you know exactly how many times you need to repeat. Use while loops when the number of repetitions depends on a condition. Third, use break and continue statements to control loop flow efficiently. Fourth, always make sure your loop conditions prevent infinite loops, where the code repeats forever. Finally, loops are fundamental to processing collections of data like lists and arrays. Mastering loops is essential to becoming a good programmer.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.